This episode, what else have I been doing? Well, folks, I was hired by the Glacier Bay Bear Track Inn largely to build a sauna. But because it's Southeast Alaska, one has to have a multi stack of talents. So we thought we would take a little time and describe what else have I been doing while I'm here at the Glacier Bay Bear Track Inn.
Welcome to the Handyman Pros Radio Show. Home improvement and maintenance tips from the pros.
Thanks for listening to another edition of the Handyman Pros Radio Show, where our goal is to help save you time, money, and aggravation on your home maintenance and repair. This edition's entitled, What Else Have I Been Doing? And to help me explain, I'm here with my helpful buddy, old buddy Johnny. Johnny, what else have you been doing? That's my question. What have you?
Yeah, did I happen to tell you? Yeah, so I was I had replaced. I'm still replacing wood on the deck.
There's a shocker.
I know it's but I just got about all done. I got it all done, and then I said, okay, well, it's been raining and raining and raining. What I wanted to do is I wanted to stain it now, right? To make it all the same color. So I went to my favorite Sherwin-Williams store, for the deck stain, and they're like, well, yeah, we've changed the formula, and so it's now satin instead of flat. So it's a solid stain. So like, okay, well, that means that it's not going to look quite the same, and I got 700 square feet of this or whatever the hell it is to do. And I mean, it's one thing after another.
Sherwin-Williams, isn't it? It's great for Sherwin-Williams.
Yeah. So I guess they got complaints about the stain. Long story short, I had a gallon of the old stuff. So I put that on all the new wood and everything. So now in the fall, I'm going to go back and restain it again, recoat it again with the new stuff. But now I got to do all the railings and everything to match.
Oh.
Yeah, and the portico. And I'm like,
what's our tip going forward? If we install new decking, we cover it with clear.
It's the guy. Yeah, I mean, I guess the moral of the story here is that it's like it's one thing or another. It's always something. It's always something.
Always something.
So I'm like, okay. I'm like, dude, I'm going with it. But so nothing's easy, Larry. Nothing's easy.
Nothing's easy. Nothing. There's always something. The minute you think you're done, surprise, there's more.
Yeah. Well, and I guess that's a good way of putting it. So that's kind of what I've been doing, and I just want to get that done for the summer. But it turns into another project.
Well, here's the plus side, Johnny. There's always the positive side. It's so hot down there, that guess what? You don't care.
I don't care. No.
Not outside. It's good.
No. I tell you that is the truth. And I'm just I'll wait it out at this point. So, anyways, that's what's been going on, and I'll spare you all the rest of the car stories and everything, being Johnny Mechanic lately. So,
well, that's exciting. That's exciting.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just kind of describe. So if you've watched some of these videos, it seems like the sauna is taking forever to build, and it is. I'm not going to lie. It's, as I've said before, it's very much an effort in building a giant fine cabinet is what it is. At least half of it. The other half isn't. The other half is just kind of traditional build. But so one of the things I said in our update sauna video, which should come out probably before this one, is just that I do other jobs, and I do other jobs. So part of my responsibilities here I was hired to drive people back and forth because, of course, it's a long story, but we sit out on the end of a dirt road, and we are the last place on the left, and we're actually the last place on the road. And so
Yeah.
So we drive our guests like off to do things like go to Glacier Bay National Park and to go down on a boat called the Taz, which is a whale watching boat, which is just awesome. And we take people on hikes, which we've got some video that we'll end this show with. Of there's a hike to an airplane crash, and I have posted it out on Facebook, but we're going to put it in this show anyway. Um, anyway, so there's a bunch of hikes to do around here and things like that. One of the other things that I was hired to do is do some fishing guiding. So this is freshwater fishing guiding. So there's rivers and streams, and we do some freshwater fishing guides. In that freshwater fishing guides, we also do these float boat trips. And so when we get to it, I'll explain all this stuff. But I was hired to do that as well. And so I was also hired a bit to help people with some of the hiking guides and things like that. So when you say, "Oh, Larry, that sauna's taking you forever," one has to understand that Larry has other jobs here as well, along with the general maintenance of the whole lodge. Steve helps along with that. I mentioned Steve in the other show. Steve does a lot of that as well. But if Steve's off that day, guess who does all the maintenance on the lodge? And we've already changed out several toilet valves. Johnny, toilet valves. Come to Alaska. Oh my
No,
God.
no, no.
You don't even, yeah, no. Yeah, anyway, it's a whole nother story. We're not going to get into it. But again, got to take care of the lodge. That's anything that faces the guest is first. Honest to God, we want it. We
Sure.
want a great experience here. So things that face a guest. Every morning, I start off saying, "Is there anything that's customer facing, if we want to call it that, that's guest facing that needs to be repaired?" That's number one. And that usually happens actually after I drive, because our first drive out of here in the morning is at 6 o'clock in the morning to take people down to Glacier Bay National Park to get on what is called the day boat. It's a boat tour of Glacier Bay National Park. It's fantastic. If you ever come here, you got to go on the day boat. You see, it's incredible. Anyway, be that as it may, enough of my sales pitch on the Glacier Bay National Park day boat tour. But we do that. That starts at 6, and then various other drives throughout the day. And again, I think I said in the workflow on the sauna, I usually start working on the sauna about 8:30 or 9. That's after all of that stuff. Occasionally, I go out on a fishing guiding trip, so I actually guide. So, Johnny, throw up some of the pictures. I want to
So
start
let me
going
ask
through.
you this. Before I get into the pictures. So give us from the sales pitch side of this. I mean, the customers or the guests, do they sign up like to go on these things, or how does that work if I go to this lodge?
So, the owner, Michelle, is essentially we'll call her the activities director. She's
Okay.
fantastic. She knows all the stuff that to do, and we will pre-book you on anything that you want to do. And there's a lot of different types of activities. You can go over to Skagway and go up the Yukon Trail that takes you out to where, up into Haines and the Yukon Trail and all that kind of stuff. There's a trip over there. There's trips. We have a particular fishing trip that we take over to Chickasaw Island into a place called Mud Bay. Chickasaw Island has the largest percentage of black or brown bears, of brown bears in Alaska. So we are bear aware constantly when we're over there. You can go on the Taz, you can go there's private whale watching that you can do. There's the day boat, there's all these things. Anyway, Michelle has a whole list of activities that you can go do. And when you call into the Bear Trek in and talk with her, she will basically set up a rough itinerary for what you want to do.
Okay,
And
that's what I was
while
getting
you're
at.
here,
Yeah.
yep,
Mhm.
you get an itinerary, and then we do all of our planning as far as the staff members go, works off of what the guests' itineraries are. And sometimes it's just hanging out. Sometimes they just want to hang out. And that's fine. We really appreciate that people want to do that. Or we have some local hikes that you can do right out of the lodge, where you can walk down to the ocean, go out on the mud flats, look at bear and moose tracks. And hey, we just had a little glitch there, but anyway, I was just
Coming
saying
from Alaska,
there's actually the first time we've had any real issues.
yeah, yeah.
Kind of just had a couple little bubbles here. Anyway, lots to do here. Lots and lots to do is the
Yeah,
point, and it all gets
that's
coordinated.
really interesting. That's so when you schedule your stay there, they have a menu of stuff to do, or like you sign up for all this stuff, or whatever
It
you want to do, and then they kind of say,
it's
okay,
more menu driven.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
more
yeah, yeah,
menu driven. So
yeah.
you're presented with a whole series of different things that you might want to do, And honestly, most people come here to go to Glacier Bay National Park.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing they come to do is fish, largely. So lots of you can fish for halibut, you can fish for salmon, you can fish for salmon in the rivers, you can fish for salmon in the icy straits or in the Pacific Ocean. There's just a lot of different kinds of things to do there. And so those are things that I don't do. I'm a freshwater fishing guide, so I take people into the rivers. Largely what I'm doing is in the early season, we're fishing for dolly varden and cutthroat trout, which are native species that live here in Southeast Alaska. And then we wait once the salmon come in. The salmon come in different waves. So it goes basically the Chinooks are first, then it's the pink salmon, then it's the sockeyes, then it's the cohos. And depending on the river, depends on what fish are in there and blah, blah, blah. But I don't need to go into those details, but that's what I do. So right now we're waiting daily. One of these days, the salmon are going to start coming in. They're out in the bay. We see them jumping. We know they're there. They captains of the offshore boats are telling us they're seeing them and they're catching them out there. So they're getting ready to come up in the rivers. And this is being recorded on the 8th of July. So we know this about mid-July, they start coming into the rivers on average. So don't really know. But anyway, but I do fishing guiding.
So when they start coming into the rivers, is that when the bears start coming out?
That's when the bears start coming down to visit the rivers. Yes, they do. Yes,
they like do. Salmon too, huh?
The ecosystem is fascinating when it comes to that stuff, right? You see the real cycles of nature when you come here, because you almost have to. The salmon are so critical to this environment that everything hinges on it. Like even the trees are fertilized by the salmon, because the bears don't eat all the salmon. They leave it on the ground. It fertilizes the ground, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It is fascinating if you like such things. It really is an amazing thing. So anyway.
So when you take these people out fishing and stuff, they catch fish. Are they bringing it back and eating it?
Well, that's a great question. So because I am a catch and release guy, and we will save a fish or two when we catch a fish. But here's the deal. It has to be late in the day, because Larry doesn't like carrying bear bait in his pack.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not even an exaggeration.
Yeah.
When the bears are at the river, they're there to fish, and their noses are very, very sensitive. and when
you're toting one of those things around in your backpack, you're a target.
Exactly. You're potentially a target. Yeah. Now, we usually wrap them in plastic, and we wrap them and then we put them into a bag, and we try our best. But honestly, I'm not comfortable with it.
I was thinking, man, with all that salmon and everything, boy, that's some good fresh salmon coming through there. Except there's only one downfall,
Yeah, there's only one downfall.
Yeah.
Now, to give precedence, when you fish offshore and you're in a boat, right? And there's a lot of that goes on as well. They catch halibut, they catch salmon, they catch cod, they catch a bunch of different species. They generally keep all their fish because they don't have that issue.
Sure.
It's only us on shore that we have that issue.
Right.
And yes, we'll keep some fish, but when I'm river fishing, it's late in the day. Okay, we've got a half an hour. We can keep the next few fish you want to catch, because
you got to be guarded by SEAL Team 6 or something to take a salmon back to the cabin.
So to give you perspective, I always carry an air horn, bear spray. That's always.
Yeah.
And then many times, depending on where I'm going, I will be armed with a 45 automatic, because I need the big stopping power.
Yeah.
It's not even my preference. My real preference would be a 12 gauge with slugs, because that will stop.
Yeah, right.
These
things are that's some big animals. Anyways, we got some pictures here that we want to get up here.
So this is where I stay. I call this the guide shack. So these are pictures. There's six of these packs here, and it's in these packs. Flip to the next picture. When I go out, I carry that. Now my waders are there. My backpack that I carry on the back is hanging there. It's got all my gear in it. You can't really see it, but it is there with a net on it. So I'm dressed in those waders. I put that orange pack on my back, and I have a front pack that looks like a parachute pack that sits on my front that I carry. And I also carry an additional pack that carries lunches. I carry the additional package pack with lunches, which I don't have here in the picture, but I carry the additional pack. So I carry an additional pack also. That's the pack that I carry the lunches in, and then I pack fish out with that. And that additional pack is if Mr. Bear wants it, I throw the whole pack and he has it. So.
Yeah, I'll outrun the pack. Now, so how cold is...
Here's an interesting aside to that, John. If you catch a fish, technically you're not supposed to give it to the bear because the Alaska Fish and Wildlife doesn't want you feeding the bears. But
oh no,
honestly,
I understand. So but I'll give him the fish before I give him myself, though, of course.
and that's Larry's opinion.
So
well.
me and the forestry folks will talk later.
We're going to talk later on that one. That's right.
What's the temperature of the water up there right now?
It's in the 40s.
In the streams, in the river there?
Yeah. Glacier fed.
Yeah.
Cold. Cold. Yeah.
Okay.
One has to be aware. You got to be guiding. So as a guide, my number one job is safety and understanding water temperatures and current and all kinds of things. The tides shift here, John. They shift about 20 feet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we do wade out into the ocean, and when the tide starts coming in, you've got to be aware because the tide will come up a foot in like 3 or 4 minutes. It's amazing. It's actually an amazing thing to watch the tide come in or go out for that matter.
So that's
but
something to think.
Out isn't quite so bad.
Yeah, I mean that's something to think about just from the geography of the world, right? The further you are away from the equator, the more it gets affected. Yeah.
Yep. And we have tides as high as 27 feet here.
Oof.
So that like let me give you a perspective. That adds about a half a mile or more of an additional walk, just depending on where you are. But it's like a half a mile in some places where you're walking out, and it's just over it's over sand, but it's a half a mile. It's a long way.
So how with the shift in a tide like that, how are they mooring the boats? Or tying them up?
It's interesting. They actually moor them on buoys, and they sometimes have to move them. But they know the depth of the water and they know where they're pretty safe. But at low tide, those boats look like they're way out there because they are. But at high tide, at high tide they look like they're way out there. At low tide, they look kind of close. But that's kind of the idea. The big the ferry dock is a floating dock. It has to float, and it gosh, the swing is incredible.
That's what I was okay. That was going to answer my next question. Okay, cool.
Yep. So, yeah, go to that next picture because I just want to show. Oh, this. So again, we did a whole show on logistics here. One of the things that we do a lot of fly fishing, and so one of the things that Larry decided before he came up here is I'm going to need to be able to tie my own flies. So this is just a picture of in the guide shack. I have my fly tying rig set up, and I'm actually, if you're a fly fisherman, you know what a clouser minnow is, and that's what's in the vise right there is a clouser minnow that I've tied, and it's kind of messy right now, but anyway, it's I've been tying a lot of flies and having great success. So anyway, go to the
interesting. So that's the kind of fishing you guys are it's all fly fishing, or
it's not all fly fishing. We do a lot of spin fishing as well. Just depends on the client mostly. But again, because you can't get it rapidly. You either stock up or in this case, I'm tying my own.
Yeah.
And these are tied for Dolly Varden and for cutthroats. And when the salmon come in, we'll be tying different flies for the salmon. So anyway, they're still essentially the same thing. They're different colors. So kind of fun. So I put this picture up. These are the float boats, and these are two of the people that I work with. This is Adeline and Nancy, and we took a float boat trip up to there's a lake that you can hike to, and we took the boats up to do a test. And these are what are in those packs. So when we take people out, we can actually go out and inflate these boats on site. It's pretty cool. I'd never done pack rafting. I knew about it, but I'd never done it. And this is a whole lot of fun. So we take people out and we hike up a river. We inflate the boats and we drift back. And so,
really?
Or we go out to this lake. Yeah. Or we go out to this lake and we can go paddle around the lake. I think we were probably on this lake. We were probably the first people to paddle that lake in years. I kid you not, years, because I don't think anybody's ever taken a boat up there. You can't get there. You have to be able to pack it in. So.
Wow. So how are you inflating these things with like one of those foot pumps that we all used to have for air mattresses when we were in kids and stuff, or
So thank God for technology, Johnny, and thank
battery?
God for lithium batteries. Yeah,
Battery,
we have
yeah.
little battery powered pumps,
Yeah.
and it makes it so much easier. But and where it really makes it easier is we have a deflate function on it as well, so
Yes.
we pump the air out of them, and we can get them to where they're almost vacuum sealed, pumping the air out, which makes it easier to put it back in the pack. And that's been it's a huge advantage. But yes, you could take a foot pump. We carry a manual. Um, Pump as a backup if we have to. But boy, Johnny, I like those lithium powered air pumps. I
Yeah.
gotta tell you,
So
works like
how heavy are these when they're deflated?
so. All up, when you look at the packs that were in the previous picture, that's about 12 pounds, including the paddle, a life jacket, and the pack itself. So we always have a light. You see, Nancy and Adeline have a life jacket on there. So you got to have a life jacket on. These are self-inflating. If it hits the water, it inflates. It's kind of like what you get in an airplane. But yeah, they with that, the paddle, and then the air pumps and stuff, it packs out at about 12 pounds. So
Hmm.
it's not huge, but it's it's something.
So how far do you guys so you hike up and then you float back? Is that what I heard? So
Yes.
how far is the hike? I mean, how far?
Um, the longest hike we'll do is about 8 miles.
Wow.
So it's a pretty good huff, and I say the longest in that we gauge this based on the customer's preference and on the customer's level of fitness. So Adeline and Nancy are both relatively young. They were in good shape. That was a 4.5 mile hike into this lake. They did it with no problem. Your humble guide was maybe huffing and puffing a little bit. Not gonna lie. And we had another, staff member, Lily. I'm gonna mention Lily as well. Lily was with us. She helped us. She stayed on shore, but she helped out with pulling the rafts in and out and stuff like that. It was actually we had a great time. It was really I can't describe how beautiful it is on this lake. It just is one of those things. When you really get out there, when there's nobody around, it's just amazing. I mean, when it's you and nature in the woods and stuff like that, it's really, really cool. I
Wow, that
cannot
is really
describe how awesome it is. So
that's really good. And that's really a good story there.
yeah, yep. So I wanted people to know about pack rafting. It's really very cool. I mean, I it's just kind of I've known about it. I've just never done it. Now I know what it's about, and
And well, how
I'm
deep is that we're looking at right there? Do you know?
I don't. I'm going to speculate that lake is maybe 30 or 40 feet deep at the deepest point. It's pretty
Hmm.
good size. It feeds a river, so it's got some water in it, and
Hmm.
it's spring fed, so it feeds the river all year long. A pretty good sized river, actually. And there is a sockeye salmon spawn that comes up into this lake. So sockeye salmon require a lake to spawn in. So the only place you'll see sockeyes are in rivers are going up to lakes to where they can spawn. Other salmon don't do that. They spawn in the rivers, but sockeyes come up in this lake and spawn. So
Hmm.
it's kind of unique to this area. It's one of the few places where the sockeyes actually run.
Interesting. Let's see. We got another picture. Oh,
Yeah, this is one of the guests. This is actually he's a staff member, but we took him out to a place called Mud Bay, and we were doing a test trip. This is Cameron's first Dolly Varden trout. We caught it right there. You actually can see. This is a good picture to show you when we talk about tides. Do you see all that sand that's there to his left?
oh yeah,
When the tide is in, that's all water.
yeah.
Everywhere you see sand there is covered by water. This was tide out. So, um, and this is just an idea. This is a river where we can do the 8 mile hike up in and float back. We didn't do a float trip this day. We were mostly concentrating on fishing. And so we were just kind of running up and down there. We had a great day. We caught, I don't know, we lost count on fish. We stopped counting. We just were like, we were catch and release all, and we just had a great day. Cameron, it was great. It was a super great trip. And I've done several trips over there since with the same effect. It's fantastic. You take a boat over, they drop you off in 2 to 3 feet of water. You wade in. As you can see, Cameron's and waders. We walk up and down the river. We fish, and we just, I hate to say we slayed them, but we got a bunch of fish, and some that were a lot bigger than this one. So this was just his first one, so it's a watershed moment. So anyway,
No, awesome. Yeah,
yeah.
that's really beautiful.
Oh, Johnny, you have no
Yeah,
there's one.
pictures are. I know pictures can't do it justice for sure.
Yeah, pictures do not do Alaska justice in any way whatsoever.
Right.
Folks, come to Alaska sometime if you get a chance because it's breathtaking. I don't know how else to put it. It just doesn't do it justice. The pictures don't do it justice. You have no idea. You have no idea how big a glacier is. You have no idea of any of this stuff. You have no idea what it's like to watch a whale blow,
Hmm.
or to see a whale fluke. You just come. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's
And you
worth
got
it. It's worth it.
you got Mount McKinley's back now, right? So
That's you can go up to Denali. That's Johnny. That's only about 1,500 miles from here.
no more
Put
Denali.
that one in perspective. From the southern border, you're at Canada, and that's
Yeah.
still just the state from where I sit right here. Think
Oh,
about that.
cool.
Anchorage is 1,000 miles away from here. 1,000. So, yeah.
All
What's
right.
our last picture, Johnny?
Oh yeah. Let's blow this one up. This is cool.
Had to show you this one, folks. This is a picture I took down on the river while I was fishing. This is one of our national symbols. That's an bald eagle sitting on top of that post right there. And I happened to catch the frame where he's on the background of the snow-covered mountains. It's America, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's
And
fishing too, huh?
well, it's funny. I like to chase the eagles, right? As
Yeah.
our friend Rick Vaughn used to
Yeah.
say, when we're doing RC flying,
Yeah.
you chase the birds of prey and the
Right.
buzzards because 1,000 years of evolution they see what we don't see. And when he's up on that post, I know there's fish out in front of him.
Oh yeah.
And he's hardly ever led me wrong. This eagle is there fairly often. And but you do again, you see the sand, all that sand you see at high tide, that's covered with water. And that's, like I said, that's a good half a mile walk out of that at high tide.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the other thing is, John, when you go out and you do these trips, the sights you see, like this particular picture was very striking to me. Um, in this same spot, if we turned around, we'd be looking at the ocean. And the other day, I'm out there, I'm in my waders, I'm in about 3 feet, 4 feet of water. It's basically at my crotch, maybe a little higher. And 100 yards from me, a humpback whale blows. I mean, it was like 100 yards away. And I was like, holy smokes, man, look at that. And I couldn't get my phone. Well, I got my phone out. My battery was dead. I was so upset. But I have videos of seals being within 25 or 30 feet of me. They're interested in what I'm doing. They just kind of swim up and they come up out of the water and look at you, and then they sink back down. It's really cool.
Oh,
Just
that's
the things
interesting.
you
That's
see.
really cool.
Yeah, the things you see. That's a bit of what else I've been doing here at the Glacier Bay Bear Track Inn. Any questions, comments, Johnny?
No, I love it. I love it. Now we're gonna wind up this video with your little video commentary of the crash site, right?
So there's a plane crash that happened here in 1957. It was a C-47, technically a DC-3, and it's a 4 people passed away in this crash, and so reverence.
We'll end this thing with that. So that'll be coming up in just a minute here. So anything else, Larry?
No,
wrap
I think
this
that's
up, and
it.
we're gonna close this thing out with Larry and his little movie of his adventure there at the crash scene, which is noted.
All right, Johnny, take us home too while we're at it.
All right, folks, stick around. I've got a little video here at the end, and we will see you next time on the Handyman Pros radio show right after this from Larry.
Hey, it's Larry with the Handyman Pros radio show. We are here at the site of an airplane crash that happened in 1957. I'll put a post down in the link as to everything that happened here at this aircraft. But pretty interesting stuff. Going to shoot some video here just to kind of show you what happened. Unfortunately, 4 people lost their lives in this airplane crash. It was a DC-3. It was on final approach into Gustavus, Alaska. It happened to be a very stormy, rainy day. They ran out of fuel, as the story goes. There were 11 people on the plane, I believe, and 4 survived. Or 7 survived, I guess, I want to say. But as you can see, it's the remnants of a DC-3, and cargo doors right there, tail section right there. This is the
crash victims site. So we lost 4 people on this one, but there were some people that survived, so they know quite a bit about it. Plane's in remarkably good shape for considering it's been sitting here for quite a number of years, about 60, 65 years. But a local legend, you can take a walk when you come out here to Gustavus. This is a crash site. It is a place where people lost their lives, so we give it the respect that it's due. And we'll see you next time.